Can Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso become the newest African country? This is the fascinating story of how three countries in West Africa are looking to merge and form a federation with shared interests in finance, security, agriculture, and culture. A unity of purpose that may shift the geopolitics and future of the continent. Is the alliance of the Sahel states said to reduce the countries on the continent from 54 down to 52? You are watching the African Boss Show. Please subscribe and scroll around the channel. We need your support to build this interactive space. The members of the Alliance of Sahel States, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have stepped up their efforts from the Defense Pact Agreement and are now working towards a full-fledged federation. All these countries forming the Alliance of Sahel States, ASAs, have undergone coups since 2020. Most recently is Niger, where soldiers in July overthrew President Mohamed Bazoum, who cooperated with the West in the fight against Sahel-based armed groups. These countries are in the so-called coup belt in West Africa under military juntas comprising of Sudan, Chad, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea. They form almost an uninterrupted chain of countries from coast to coast in West Africa. A mutual defense pact was created between Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso on 16th of September 2023. The pact was created during the 2023 Nigerian crisis, in which the West African political bloc ECOWAS threatened to intervene militarily to restore civilian rule after a coup in Niger. You remember President Tinubu of Nigeria, as the chairman of ECOWAS, was ready to send in troops from ECOWAS, to which he faced a lot of opposition from his own member of parliament, and generally most Africans were against this. I think they underestimated the support these military coups had among the people. Practically, the ECOWAS does not have the experience required nor the capacity to mount a war that would have had devastating consequences, not only for the continent, but for the families who would have gone there to fight. Because Gambia is the crown jewel of interventions of ECOWAS when they got rid of Yaya Jammeh. But Gambia was a different gravy. They had a very small, poorly trained army, nothing compared to Niger. And also they had some success in Liberia. ECOWAS, I think it was called ECOMOG at that time, was able to remove President Charles Taylor, but that was there was a lot of goodwill from the warlords at that point. The Alliance of the Sahel States' stated goal is to protect against possible threats of armed rebellion or external aggression, emphasizing that any attack on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of one or more contracted parties will be considered an aggression against the other parties. This is what basically Mali and Burkina Faso said when Tinubu and the ECOWAS said we're going to Niger. They said an attack on Niger means you are attacking Burkina Faso and Mali, and we are going to intervene. They backed off. The leaders of the three countries signed the Liptako-Goma Charter, named after the Liptako-Goma region, which straddles the three countries and is at the heart of the security concerns in the Central Sahel. The Liptako-Goma region, where the Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger borders meet, has been ravaged by armed rebellion in recent years. Fascinating that Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger share a border. All three states were members of the France-supported G5 Sahel Alliance joint force with Chad and Mauritania, which was launched in 2017 to tackle armed groups linked to extremism, obviously led by the French. And it has fallen apart as France is quickly losing its grip in this region or the Francophone countries. France has been forced to withdraw its troops from Mali and Burkina Faso and is in a tense standoff with the military that seized power in Niger. France wanted Bazoum back. Niger's military rulers have asked France to withdraw its troops and its ambassador, as France had refused to recognize the new military authority. Remember that saga that went on and on. Meanwhile, Mali has seen a resumption of hostilities by predominantly Tuareg armed groups over the past few weeks, are threatening the 2015 peace agreement. That is why they're looking for this alliance. But Mali has also asked the UN peacekeeping mission MINUSMA to leave the country. What they want is to chart their own course, their own path. The foreign ministers of military-ruled Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger recently recommended creating a confederation as part of a long-term goal of uniting the West African neighbors within a federation. The summit primarily centered on economic development within the Liptako-Goma region, resulting in the adoption of 18 key recommendations. These aim to set the stage for genuine integration within the new reformed alliance. The proposed measures include enhancing the free movement of goods and people across the AES. This is one contentious point in Africa. Like, there is no free movement of people from one country to the next. But recently, Zimbabwe and Botswana have had an agreement where people can move freely from one country to the next. They want to implement a robust food security mechanism, formulating a collective industrialization strategy for alliance states, expediting the execution of energy, agriculture, hydraulic, and transportation projects, and even considering the establishment of regional civil nuclear power projects. They have a plan, and if these plans can be implemented, these will lead to tangible results on the ground and can change the course of the Sahel region forever. I've got no doubt about it. In a joint statement following a two-day meeting in Mali's capital, Bamako, the foreign ministers spoke of the great potential for peace, stability, diplomatic strength, and economic development that a strengthened political alliance offers. The ministers, guided by the ambition to ultimately achieve a federation uniting Burkina, Mali, and Niger, recommend the creation of a confederation to the heads of state of the Alliance of the Sahel States. The statement said Malian Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop said the conclusions will be submitted to their heads of state, who are due to meet in Bamako at an unspecified date. So you know what? The good thing with military juntas or military-ruled countries, the constitution is suspended. So they don't normally have to go and hold a referendum or ask the people or the constituents or whatever. They just make a decision. Let's go. Like pretty much like China does. China decides to do something, they will just do it. So this might be an advantage of having military rulers, because once a decision is made, if it's in the interest of the country, whether some people like it or not, they will go and implement that plan. So I think this can be successful while the military juntas are in power. The move towards a confederation by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, along with their shift in security alliances, marks a new era in West African politics. It symbolizes aspirations for unity, self-determination, and a novel approach to regional challenges. As details of this confederation continue to emerge, the world watches this bold step towards stability and growth in West Africa. It is very fascinating. Is this the way for Africa to go? Because sometimes we complain that there are too many countries in Africa. Reducing the number of countries, let's say Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Zambia could become one country. So anyway, I'll see you in my next video. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you